It's February 5th, 2008, and eerie calm settles over the southern United States. As millions prepare to vote in primary elections, meteorologists watch their radar screens with growing concern. Suddenly, tornado sirens pierce the air. The sky darkens, turning black. Nature and democracy are about to collide in one of the most significant tornado outbreaks in recent memory. The Super Tuesday Tornado Outbreak begins. The outbreak generated an astounding 87 tornadoes over a 15-hour period from the afternoon of February 5th until the early morning of February 6th. The storm system produced several destructive tornadoes in heavily populated areas, most notably in the Memphis metropolitan area, Jackson, Tennessee, and the northeastern end of the Nashville metropolitan area. The meteorological setup for this outbreak began several days prior. A series of strong low-pressure systems formed across the southern Great Plains on February 4th, contributing to record warmth on February 4th and 5 in the southern plains and lower Mississippi River Valley. High temperatures across many areas reached the 70 degrees, and in Alabama, temperatures soared to the low 80 degrees with dew points in the middle 60s degrees. Dew points in the mid-60s degrees were recorded as far north as Memphis. These unusually warm and moist conditions set the stage for severe weather development.
Also, probably some hail. Looks to me like a strong indication of hail, maybe some large hail that is to the north of where the tornado is. That notch, man, what a signature we've got here as this continues to move that way. And this new circle, now we've had these circled for some time in our Viper mode, but this is brand new, updated, the latest available, and we're the only ones that have this, that show you that this is just bright red, a strong indicator that there is a tornado in there as it continues to move to the northeast. This is the cell we're looking at the moment, but as it crossed right across this part, here's Highway 385 in northeast Shelby County.
As the surface low progressed northeast, a strong jet streak was positioned over the warm sector, with winds moving east, which was perpendicular to the direction of the surface winds, which were out of the southeast. This sharp change in winds resulted in significant wind shear and wind profiles favoring rotating supercells capable of producing significant tornadoes. The strong jet streak also provided substantial lift favoring supercells to form in the open warm sector. Instability across the outbreak area was considerable, with CAPE values a measurement of the level of tropospheric instability well over 1,000 joule per kilogram, and storm relative helicity, a measurement of the potential for rotating winds reaching over 200 meteorologists, recognizing the potential for a significant severe weather event. On February 5th at 6:39 a.m. CST, the Storm Prediction Center issued a high risk of severe storms for most of Arkansas, the first such issuance in February since 1998. By 10:16 a.m. CST, the high-risk area was extended farther northeast to include western Kentucky, northwestern Mississippi, the Missouri Boot Heel, West Tennessee, and southern Illinois. A moderate risk of severe weather was issued for surrounding areas, including northwestern Alabama, the rest of Arkansas, the rest of southern Illinois, southern Indiana, most of the rest of Kentucky, northern Louisiana, central Mississippi, parts of southeastern Missouri, southwestern Ohio, eastern Oklahoma, middle Tennessee, and northeastern Texas. The SPC issued a total of 15 watches during the outbreak, including 13 tornado watches, 2 of which were PDS watches, and 2 severe thunderstorm watches. This high number of watches underscored the widespread nature of the severe weather threat. Early on the morning of February 5th, a squall line developed across eastern Texas northward into Missouri and moved east towards the high-risk area. Ahead of the squall line, the cap, a layer of relatively warm air aloft which suppresses or delays the development of thunderstorms, took longer than expected to break. However, when it finally did in the late afternoon hours, numerous supercell thunderstorms quickly formed across Arkansas and southern Missouri. The first tornadoes touched down around 3:30 p.m. CST. Some of the most powerful tornado-producing supercells were situated across the Memphis and Jackson areas, as well as central Arkansas. One supercell produced a tornado that tracked an incredible 122 miles and lasted about 2 hours, setting a new record for the longest tracking tornado in Arkansas history. As the evening progressed, one of these supercells traveled across Middle Tennessee, including the Nashville metropolitan area and south central Kentucky, where several deadly tornadoes were reported during the evening hours between 7:30 p.m. and 11:00 p.m. CST. Meanwhile, the squall line that had developed earlier moved eastward throughout the late evening and overnight hours, causing numerous reports of damaging wind along with many spin-up tornadoes from Louisiana to Ohio and Indiana. One of the most significant tornadoes of the outbreak was the Atkins-Clinton Mountain View Highland, Arkansas tornado. This long-lived supercell developed around 4:50 p.m. CST southeast of Centerville in Yell County, Arkansas. The tornado touched down to the southwest of New Neely, causing minor damage to 2 structures and downing trees at EF0 to EF1 strength. However, it rapidly intensified to EF3 strength as it slammed into Lucky Landing, a marina at Lake Atkins where multiple vehicles, boats, and mobile homes were destroyed, and 1 woman was killed. Continuing northeast, the tornado struck the southern and eastern outskirts of Atkins, killing 3 people. In the Atkins area, 65 homes were heavily damaged or destroyed, and 39 others were damaged to a lesser degree. Several vehicles were blown off of Interstate 40, and 6 mobile homes were destroyed as well, with 5 others damaged. The tornado intensified to EF4 strength as it entered Van Buren County and tore through the south edge of Clinton, killing 3 people in the vicinity. One of these deaths occurred at a boat manufacturing plant in town, which was destroyed. The plant was completely leveled to the ground, with its metal beam frame severely mangled. The tornado maintained EF4 intensity as it continued into Stone County, slamming into the town of Mountain View. The local hospital sustained heavy roof and wall damage, and several doctors' offices were destroyed, along with a paint shop, a body shop, and a car parts store. A car dealership was completely flattened, with vehicles being tossed from the sales lot and across the highway. The tornado then weakened slightly to high-end EF3 strength as it crossed into Izard County and impacted the rural community of Zion, killing 2 people, destroying 43 homes and mobile homes, severely damaging 14, and lightly damaging 36 more. Hundreds of cattle were killed in this area, and a Jeep was stripped down to its frame and tires and found wrapped around the stump of a large tree that was snapped. An aerial survey later determined that the damage across the 7 counties was caused by one continuous tornado, with a track estimated at 122 miles in length. This was the longest single tornado track recorded in Arkansas since detailed record-keeping began in 1950. In all, 13 people were killed and 140 were injured. At least 200 homes and businesses were destroyed along the tornado's path. Damage from this tornado was estimated at nearly $120 million across the 7 counties. Another significant tornado struck South Haven, Mississippi, and Memphis, Tennessee. At 5:32 p.m. CST, a supercell thunderstorm produced a multiple vortex tornado in South Haven, Mississippi. The tornado first struck South Haven High School, where 30 windows were broken and minor roof damage occurred. The tornado rapidly intensified to EF2 strength as it crossed the intersection of State Line Road and Airways Boulevard, destroying 3 warehouse buildings. The tornado maintained EF2 intensity as it quickly tracked across the Mississippi, Tennessee state line and into southeastern portions of Memphis, where WREG tower cameras broadcast live footage of the tornado moving through the southeastern parts of Memphis, producing multiple bright blue power flashes along the way. By this point, the National Weather Service issued a tornado emergency, the first of 5 to be issued during the outbreak for most of the Memphis metropolitan area. The tornado produced an extensive swath of damage as it moved through residential and commercial areas. Considerable damage was reported at Memphis International Airport, where a hangar lost its roof. The FedEx Freight Terminal's fire station suffered roof damage. Air stair trucks were thrown 100 yards, and aircraft were moved around, including a Boeing 737 that was moved 1 foot. Continuing northeast, the tornado weakened to EF1 strength and struck the Hickory Ridge Mall, resulting in total collapse of a large wall and much of the roof at the Sears department store. Damaged surveyors noted very poor construction at this location, and 6 people in the mall were injured. The National Weather Service office in Memphis rated the tornado as an EF2. 3 people were killed and 13 others were injured. Northeast of Memphis in Fayette County, another powerful tornado touched down near the rural community of Yum Yum and quickly reached EF3 intensity. This tornado was spawned by the same supercell that had affected Memphis about an hour earlier. Near the beginning of the path, a shed was obliterated and a pickup truck parked inside was thrown 40 feet and mangled, killing a man inside the vehicle. The tornado traveled into Fayette County, producing EF2 damage in Danceyville, Tennessee. Regaining EF3 strength, the tornado crossed into Madison County, striking the Huntersville community. Numerous homes were damaged or destroyed in Huntersville, and 2 people were killed. The tornado then exited Huntersville and headed towards the city of Jackson. Several cars and at least 13 tractor trailers were blown off of Interstate 40 by the tornado in this area. Shortly after the initial tornado dissipated, a new circulation rapidly developed to the east of the old one. This new circulation produced a tornado that touched down at the Union University campus in Jackson, almost immediately intensifying into a violent EF4 and causing tremendous damage. Several large brick 2-story dormitory buildings sustained major structural damage, 2 of which completely collapsed. In total, 80% of the dormitory buildings on campus were damaged or destroyed, and hundreds of vehicles were damaged or destroyed in the parking lots around campus. Despite causing EF4 damage after dark in a densely populated area, the tornado did not cause any deaths in Jackson, though 51 people were injured. This was the 3rd violent tornado to hit Jackson in 10 years, following F4 tornadoes on January 17, 1999 and May 4, 2003. Estimates indicate that the tornadoes caused about $47 million worth of damages in Madison County, with $40 million of that total occurring at Union University alone. Another significant tornado developed from a supercell that had spawned tornadoes over northern Mississippi, as well as a deadly EF4 in Hardin County, Tennessee. After moving over Nashville without producing a tornado, the supercell spawned a devastating long-track EF3 tornado southwest of Castellian Springs in Sumner County, Tennessee, just after 10:00 p.m. CST. This tornado rapidly intensified to EF3 strength as it tore directly through Castellian Springs, destroying numerous homes and businesses. The town's post office was completely leveled, mobile homes were obliterated, and several block foundation homes were leveled or swept away. The 19th century Wynwood Inn, a National Historical Landmark and stagecoach stop, suffered major damage to its second floor and grounds during the storm. The tornado continued across the state boundary into Monroe County, Kentucky as an EF3, where 2 frame homes and 2 mobile homes near Gamaliel were destroyed, and several other structures suffered extensive damage. The tornado maintained EF3 strength as it clipped the north edge of Tompkinsville, where a large wood frame warehouse was destroyed, a metal frame industrial building was twisted off of its foundation, and a large well-built brick home was left with only interior walls remaining. The last significant tornado of the outbreak touched down at 5:17 in the morning in Jackson County, Alabama. The tornado traveled across Jackson County over the course of 12 minutes, causing EF4 damage along its path, with the worst of the damage being between the communities of Rosalie and Pisgah. The tornado traveled a total of almost 11 miles with winds of 180 miles per hour and a peak width of 660 yards. In total, 1 person was killed and 12 people were injured.